Hello, my name is Matthew, and a little while ago, just in the past maybe 2 weeks, I read The Rise of the Roman Empire by Polybius. And the past few years, I've been spending a lot of time reading Roman history um, and trying to gain an understanding of this big, big picture. I love details. I love reading stories about certain lives. Plutarch, of course. I've been reading Livy, the war with Hannibal. Um, but I've never had, I still haven't had any kind of revelatory moment where I feel like I have an understanding of this progression through history. And I decided um, to pick up The Rise of the Roman Empire. It has one of those bas relief sculptures. And admittedly, at first, looking at the cover, I did think before I started it, this might be a bit of a slog. Um, I don't know much about Polybius, um, and I couldn't have been further from the truth. This book was so entertaining, so engaging, so enlightening. Um, there were so many moments where I'll give credit to Polybius, but also all of this um, reading that I have been doing and starting to make connections between um, details or things that I've read in Plutarch or Livy or Tacitus, and just starting to see like, okay, like these pieces are kind of fitting together. Now, Polybius really is a character in both senses of the word. He's a hoot. And the reason is that he's constantly inserting himself in the history. Not as if he's a character running around, but as a narrator, talking about the form of history, other historians, what other historians do wrong, and what he does right. And he name checks people, he calls out other historians, and he'll give excerpts and say, well, they say that this series of events happens, but there's contradictions even in this passage, and he kind of breaks it all down. And he talks about what so many historians talk about, like getting to the element of truth. Um, this back is a quote. If history is deprived of the truth, we are left with nothing but an idle, unprofitable tale. What what was so helpful to me is having this guide very present on the page, walking, almost holding my hand, walking me through the rise of the Roman Empire. And just describing, and it's mostly military campaigns. It's mostly talking about um, how Rome went from like a large city or having some territories to this rapid expansion and dominating most of the known world. And we talk about the Punic Wars, and there's a large section on the first Punic War, and then another section on the second um, Punic War, which is the war with Hannibal. And Polybius just explains like so well. Well, the now I can't remember what they're called, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. Is it the Macedonians or the Mesopotamians? You can see how much knowledge I have because I don't know. I don't remember. Oh my god. Well, anyway, there's people invading Sicily. There's um, um, it's Carthage. That's what it was. Carthaginians, Carthaginians. This is ridiculous. Um, the Carthaginians are able to. They have a huge naval fleet, and And so they're able to go over to Rome and attack while their shores are completely safe. This is a threat to Rome, and they decide, well, we need to have our own naval fleet. This is a huge weakness. We need to be able to not only defend our shores, but show that they can't just come over here attacking us without risk to themselves. And he kind of, obviously, much better than anything I'm remembering now, but walks us through each of these steps, and to the point where there might be a naval battle, and Polybius will stop and say, "This is kind of complicated, and to understand what's going to happen here, you need to understand the territory. There's going to be this triangle shape, and these people are going to be over here, and these people are going to be..." And he'll give a little explanation, just accounting for, you're not going to know you might be a little confused. Let me help you with some of the potential confusion that you might have. And this happens throughout the whole book, or the selections that I have here in this translation by Ian Scott Kilbert, which was wonderful. And it occurs to me that obviously people living at the time would be, obviously in Rome, Romans would be more well-versed in this history, these events. But also not necessarily. There's huge portions of people that are illiterate, for one, or maybe just too busy toiling the land outside of Rome and in the provinces to have a full understanding of the Punic Wars and what the empire is doing and all the generals. And it was just kind of like a nice welcoming hand. Like, let's go through this together. Now, when we get to the war with Hannibal, and reading Livy made all of this like start to become much more visual in my mind. It's just so exciting. The Hannibal crossing the Alps, having like 50,000 troops, and the numbers throughout are staggering. Having 30,000 people, and 10,000 people, and 80,000 people, 50,000 people. It's bringing elephants along. There's elephants like falling off mountain cliffs, and horses and donkeys and mules and soldiers falling off these cliffs, and we get this great character of Hannibal being brilliant and strategic, and employing different tactics. Great descriptions of horrific battles that just come off as wild. There's people are shooting arrows. There's elephants stampeding around. Just truly incredible. And Polybius will even say, like, if you were there, it would have been just the craziest thing you could have seen. 50,000 people on one side, maybe 30,000 people on the other side, just crashing together in this bloody battle. Just insane. And I was really impressed with how well Polybius was able to describe different set pieces, different locations, different terrain, and make everything just so clear. So if it's a naval battle, describing the different ships, if they're in Carthage, what kind of battles are happening there, crossing the mountains, what battles look like there, and also the viewpoints. So getting an understanding of what's going on in Sicily, or in Rome, or Carthage, or in Spain. It just makes everything understandable. And that personality of his made it just a really fun, engaging, educational reading experience. I really got a lot out of this book, and I'm sure I'm going to go back to it many, many times. So you can tell I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'm reading this stuff. um, so Polybius, by the Rise of the Roman Empire by Polybius. Uh, Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. I'm sure I said a lot of things that were inaccurate, but um, so please leave a comment if you would like. Thank you for watching, and take care.